Welcome into the Daily Fix. This is one of those moments, Steve, where people are pissed off about being 10-1 right now, as the Chiefs finally take care of business in Charlotte in a game that was way too damn close. And we're gonna get all into it and into a lot of things. But I am your host, Ron Hughley. And this is the Daily Fix presented by Foolish Club Media. Every day, 12 noon Central, right here. You can come hang out with us. That in that little itty bitty box right there where he rightfully belongs is the beautiful Steven Serta in the building, who was him and Rocky last night near meltdown in the post game show. I love it. I love you guys in the post game show. Try to push across. All right, this hell's not freezing over. Pets' heads aren't falling off, but then coming out and sounding like pets' heads are falling off. It's my face. My
I mean, that's the Panthers. That's the Panthers. Like,
I know
it wasn't a good football game.
Let's just be honest. It's weekly. But I enjoy it. I come to it and I enjoy it for that. But listen, however you're taking us in, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, Facebook, however you're taking us in, those of you on YouTube as well, we appreciate you. One thing I do need you to do is head over to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Please like and subscribe as we're trying to grow this puppy. And remember, if you do not do so, you are preventing my 3 children from eating. Not going to hold you long. The real MVP, we'll get into that a little bit later. Or scary trend coming in for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then I want to start here. And you give me my 2 minutes there, and you kind of talked about it, Steve. And it was the Panthers. And you want to know how I knew this was not just one of them ball games, Steve, where it was like, yeah, you win late. It's a close game. Hey, we fool around. Hey, man, it's just the playoffs. It's just we turn it on in the playoffs. Nothing really. Is Patrick Mahomes' reaction, Steve? See, Patrick Mahomes' reaction, he looked like many of us. He was hot. I mean, hot. Did you see him, Steve, walking onto the field, being forced to have to shake hands with Bryce Young, who played at the same level as he did almost? Did you see the look of disgust? Like he was, like he went in, it went in. There was no smile. He didn't run around to do the airplane like he did against the Broncos when that field goal was blocked. He didn't do any of that. He just walked on the field pissed. He tried to do an interview with whoever that was afterwards, and he tried. You know how people try to smile when they're cool, but no. As soon as that interview ended, he was hot. And then afterwards, I'd like to blow some people out. Hell, we would too. We would too, Pat. This wasn't just, you could tell they were frustrated for this. And yes, this is disrespectful to the Panthers, but the game shouldn't have been like that. Because he's sitting there thinking, hold up, dog. We gave you the lead. We had the lead 20-6. 20-6 with 44 seconds left. Them jokers didn't see the ball again till about the 6.5 mark in the third quarter, and 10 more points have been put up on the board for the Panthers. Like there is frustration to a point where you can see they're like what the hell is going on here? What is going on? I enjoyed seeing and knew that this wasn't just some regular thing because Patrick Mahomes showed it and said it afterwards. Like we like to have these games not come down to the buzzer. Not like to have these, and that one was ridiculous. That one was damn near like the Buffalo loss in the way that they played.
It's credit to Bryce Young. Like, I'm not discounting the way that he played.
I'm not gonna give him credit. I don't know what that was.
It was the best game of his career, best start of his young career as a professional NFL quarterback. And Dave Canales had a really good game plan, but Bryce Young was awesome yesterday. Like, he was just ripping it all over the field, and the Chiefs were getting cooked every time they tried to bring pressure on him.
He was sure enough was allowed to rip it. By the way, folks, we apologize for that spelling error on Carolina. It sometimes happens.
I just noticed that. I was that's my
Chiefs escape Carolina. Hey, that sounds like a broad that could get you in trouble, don't it?
God, no. Sorry.
An old Carolina. That sounds like a broad that can get you in trouble. But no, man. Rest this year, I'm just saying that the thought to that first topic was this ain't just a deal anymore of, oh, man, we just win and we just find ways to win. No, Patrick Mahomes' reaction lets you know that there is frustration and disgust, and this ain't about no just flipping the switch and turning things on. Now, he is annoyed by the way they're playing. All right, I'm going to take my time to get into this defense this week because they have pissed me smooth off. But I will go more a bigger picture thing, Steve. And this is becoming a scary trend. All right. Like not getting up in arms about the Buffalo game. That was one game in 15 straight games they had won. There are some things in there you look at, but not gonna lose my mind. This, however, is not just a one-off. This is a trend. This is 4 straight games, Steve. Have you noticed that? You listening at home, have you noticed that? This is now 4 consecutive games that the defense, Steve, has had a chance to get off the field and in the game, had their chance to get off the field in the game, which we would expect this Chiefs defense to do 10 out of 10 times damn near, especially with most of the quarterbacks they played. But if you remember, this goes back to Tampa, Steve. Tampa drove it right down the field and scored and tied it up, and then the Chiefs offense had to win it in overtime. Then Denver got that field goal blocked, Steve, but they got to the place to kick the field goal. Like the Chiefs could not get them off the field. And these are multiple third downs that both the Bucs and Denver were able to get. Bring on Buffalo. It happened over and over in that game, and then it happened at the end. Buffalo got the ball with 7.5 minutes left, and they could not stop them on at least 3 third downs and a 4th down as well. And then yesterday, again, Panthers down by 8, Steve, with 3 something left. Where did that drive start? That last one of the Panthers. Inside the 15, wasn't it? I mean, they were backed up, and they drove all the way down. Got the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. The defense couldn't get off the field, and Patrick Mahomes and the offense had to come and pull it out. That's 4 straight games. They have been able to get Baker with no receivers, Josh Allen, give you that, Nix, and now Bryce Young, who's having career days against you. They couldn't get him off the field. This is a trend that they have got to fix.
It's not just a Jalen Watson problem either, because that's what we keep talking about. Is like this has gone downhill since Jalen Watson went down, and Jalen Watson had been tremendous, and the Chiefs defense looked amazing for the first 7 weeks of the season, and now it's really taken a step back. But I think we're just seeing is that teams know how to attack this Chiefs defense now, and Steve Spagnuolo, like when everything works and the personnel is hitting and he can deploy this thing the way he wants to, they look like one of the best defenses in the NFL, but they do have a personnel problem right now, and that's why offenses are finding success. That's why the blitzes aren't getting home. The pass rush isn't winning up front, and it's all bleeding into everything about the defense. Like, they just simply aren't playing good enough right now. It's not just the lack of Jalen Watson. Overall, as a unit, they have not played well over the last month of the regular season.
Yeah, they haven't gotten pressure, any of that. But still within that, Steve, they're forcing 3rd downs and longs, 4th downs and longs. And they can't get off the field. Adam Thielen somehow is creating all these levels of separation that I didn't know he had. It's crazy. All right. Saquon Barkley, Steve, I mean, if he's not been the MVP this year, it's only Josh Allen that should be in front of him. I really despise that this has become a quarterback award only. We haven't seen a non-quarterback win it since, Adrian Peterson, who had to rush for 2,000 yards and had to be an off year with quarterbacks. For him to pull it off, he had to have Samantha Ponder's husband as his quarterback to it could really look like he was carrying somebody. I'm sorry, Christian, that was disrespectful, but I did not have your first name.
Team in the playoffs that year.
I didn't have Christian's first name for a second, but I had his wife's. But Steve, last night, my man on 26 carries goes for 255 and 2 touchdowns, averaging nearly 10 yards a rush, 2 different 70-yard touchdowns in this game. The first to do it since Maurice Jones-Drew. 302 total yards, not to mention 47 yards on 4 catches. Whoever had to go up against him in fantasy, my son, had a rough one. Did you? My son, too. Little Show did, too, as well. By the way, though, he did have A.J. Brown. He did have Caleb Williams. He did have T.J. Hawkinson. He did have Terry McLaurin. So he had some good stuff. But Steve, I'm serious, man. I think there is a real argument that he is as valuable to his team as Josh is right now. And I know Jalen Hurts finished second in the MVP a few years ago to Mahomes, but it is clear to me the big change, the major real change to that team is him. And it appears to me that there is some leadership qualities that's going along with that in a locker room that was out of control. He will not win the award because it is going to go to either Josh or Lamar, whoever plays best down the stretch. But I'm not so certain. He's almost at 1,400 yards rushing, and we got 7 to go, or 6 to go, and he is catching the ball out of the backfield. They are 9-2 and rolling. They've won 6 or 7 straight. Saquon Barkley has been amazing this year.
I think he's the best free agent signing of the offseason. I don't think it's close. The Eagles look really good, and their record looks really good. And now the 49ers have totally fallen apart. And it's the case can be made that it's the Lions and the Eagles are the 2 best teams in the NFC. And I don't think the Eagles would have close to this record if it wasn't for Saquon Barkley. Devontae Smith didn't even play in that game. A.J. Brown's been a little bit banged up this season. Dallas Goedert's been banged up. Their offensive line's been banged up. They aren't nearly as good offensively without Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is propping up this whole thing for the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Steve, I'm looking at this thing here, and what's his name? Christian McCaffrey finished 3rd in the MVP race last year as the running back, which is a high finish for him. Man, he's 70 yards away from what he rushed for last year. Saquon, and that's with Derrick Henry, who was going nuts. He's 60, 70 yards away from what he rushed for last year. It's amazing. He had 14 rushing touchdowns. I mean, he is going in on that with 6 to play. I know he's not going to win it because that award now he is the offensive player of the year, but I damn sure think he should. I really do. Hi, Mom and Courtney.